Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. To continue in the vein of yesterday's podcast, going forward with the Conceal Carry thought, I'm going to give you kind of a lesson on how my Conceal Carry journey started and where it is today. When I first started conceal carrying, I was raised by a boomer FUD, so everything I only had one pistol at the time, was a Colt 1911 45 ACP, lightweight officer's model. This just so happened to be worth a lot of money, and I didn't know this because it was a particular model before Colt was sold. Long story short, I carried this for years until I found out how much it was worth, and then I should probably get a more user-friendly pistol that if I scratched or had holster wear on, I would be okay with. So I bought a Springfield XDS. Now, I don't know if I got a bad lemon or whatever. It was again in 45 ACP. But this gun had 3 failures to fire in less than 100 rounds or less than a box of shells. I had to send it back to the manufacturer because the slide stop actually broke. Then there was a recall on it for the trigger. At that point, I'd had enough with Springfield. I traded it for Glock, and that's where things got markedly better. So I had been going to classes, and I have still gone to classes to learn how to use my weapon, to be a better trained person. If I'm going to do this, I want to be trained. And I've given that spiel before. So, in the classes, what I noticed before with my 1911 and with my Springfield was that I had to carry like 3 extra magazines just to have the same capacity as someone with a standard 9mm Glock or Smith & Wesson or Beretta or any modern pistol. And that was a little off-putting to me. I didn't like that. So when I traded my Springfield XDS, I traded it for a Glock 26. Now my Glock 26 is still one of my primary carry guns. It has a TLR 6, I think is what it is, from Streamlight on it. That's a combo laser and a 300 lumen LED light. I keep the stock magazines that I carry in it flush fit, because when I carry it, I carry a Glock 15, or no, not a Glock 15, a Glock 19 15-round magazine. Because if I need extra ammunition, it's better to have 15 rather than another 10. And the cool thing about the Glock 26 or any 9mm framed Glock, except for the slimmer line, so like the 43 form factor for the Glocks, they'll all take the same double stack magazines. Well, I got a deal on a Sig Sauer P229 in a 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, I don't like 40. But I know that they made the P229 in the same frame. The only difference is the barrel. So I ordered a Lone Wolf barrel conversion for my P229, and I carried it for a while. Now, the problem I've had with my P229 is that it's heavy. It's a metal framed pistol. So I bought a Glock 19 because I wanted a pistol that was in the form factor of a compact, or a subcompact is what these are called. Or no, it's actually compact, I think. Anyway, what I'm getting at is there was a progression. In this, there was also, I carried a Bursa Thunder 380. I have no problems with 380. I've also carried a Smith & Wesson M&P Bodyguard 380. I've carried a Ruger LCP, the first generation, with like the 6 shots with one in the pipe, so it's 7. And currently added to my pocket carry rotation is the LCP Max, which now gives me 13 rounds in the gun. 1 in the chamber, 12 in the magazine with the extended magazine. I don't feel underarmed with a 380, and it seems to be the gun that goes with me the most. I've practiced with it a lot. I've got over close to 1,000 rounds through it now, which makes me happy because in that time frame I've had 0 malfunctions with it, even for break-in. So that makes me pretty confident in what it is. Why I'm telling you all this story about how my progression happened with Conceal Carry is this also went with how much I could afford at the time. So not everybody can afford a Colt, but it was a dream pistol, and I was young and dumb, and it was the pistol that I got with my dad's blessing, and he went and got it for me before I was 21. So this gun I still have it. It still means a lot to me, but now it's fine. It's worth a lot more financially, monetarily, that I shouldn't carry it. But I needed a gun that was a working gun, so to speak, one that you can ding around and not worry about. In my price range at the time was the Springfield. Now, where this was going is that you can always adapt up. A gun in the hand is worth everything more than one in the safe. And here's why. We're in a situation, like I've said, in northwest New Mexico, we've had 3 shootings in the last weekend, 2 of which were fatal. I advocated for you carrying a gun, and I can advocate for anyone that listens to this podcast to carry legally wherever you can. That means whatever fits your dress type, your clothing style, your body type, and how much you're willing to carry on your person. Carrying a Glock 19 is heavy, and depending upon your body type, may print or show the outline more, which causes more problems down the road. If you can carry completely concealed where nobody knows you have it, that to me is the ideal situation. And the reason why that is because they can't identify you as a threat, and you're the only one that has the tool or knows about the tool if you need it. The 380, while not ideal, should do well for any of the bad targets I would have inside of 20 yards. Now, the weekend before last, when all the stuff came out about the shooting that was stopped by a young man with a Glock pistol in a mall, he shot at 40 yards. I tested myself with my 380, and despite what people will say, it is possible to hit man-sized targets at 40 and 50 yards with a 380 reliably. And I did it to prove to myself I could do it. Now, can I take a headshot? I don't know. Did I make good effects where I could hit in the head or in the chest? Absolutely. All of mine were in effective areas of hits with that 380. And I was punching paper so I can go see the targets, see where the holes actually ended up in the target, and I could count them. So I'm fairly confident, and I say fairly confident unless I'm totally off my game or I myself am wounded, I think I can do with 99% effectiveness be able to put a person down at 40 to 50 yards reliably with as much accuracy as that guy did where he got 8 out of 10 rounds on target. I know I could do that with my little Ruger LCP Max. It's just a matter of training with the gun you use. Coleon Noir and a lot of other guys, Mike from Mr. Guns and Gear, will tell you to try out guns and have different guns for different seasons and different clothing. If you're wearing shorts and a tank top, do you want to strap on a SIG P229 and the 2.5 pounds that it is? No. You're probably going to want to carry something a lot lighter. Maybe a SIG P365. Maybe the Ruger LCP Max. Maybe a SIG 938 in a 9mm or 380. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable with carrying, but the size matters, right? This is really important when you start introducing people of smaller stature. If I hand someone who is 5 foot flat a Glock pistol, is it too big for them to handle just because of the width of the gun? Maybe they do need a single stack because their hands are smaller. You fit the tool to the user, not the user around the tool. There you go. That's the right way to put that. You shouldn't have to flex. It should be comfortable. It should be your gun, your holster, your entire carry setup should be so comfortable that you forget you have it. And that introduces another problem. Because if you forget you have it, and you go into such a place like an airport, that is a felony. The best way you could do that is be an adult. If you're going to carry a gun, don't be stupid. Think about these things. If you go to an airport, you go to any prohibitive place where you're not allowed to carry, you're responsible for that. You need to not carry in those places legally. You do you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what should happen, is that you're so natural at carrying in your daily attire that it's just part of who you are and what you do, and it fits your lifestyle 100%. Because then you're liable to have the tool when you need it, if you need it. So these are my thoughts. If you're going to take someone out, again, smaller stature or a new shooter, and they're buying their first gun, take them to some place like Sportsman's Warehouse or East Main Trade. And if you're in Farmington, New Mexico, those two places seem to have the vast amount of guns to physically size up with your hands, so you could kind of guess what form factor or what brand you want. Stick to reliable brands. That would be another piece of advice I'd give you. When I say reliable, there's a reason why the military and law enforcement use the weapons they do. Their weapons are ways to keep themselves and the people around them alive. And if that's what you're looking at, you should probably look at that. Stay in your budget. If you cannot afford that brand new SIG or Glock pistol, go to some place like Bud's or Classic Firearms. Go to their used firearms. That's how I got my SIG. My SIG, I got it as a traded-in police from Connecticut or New Hampshire trade-in for my SIG P229. And I got it for $300, $299. I swapped the barrel, sent it to SIG. I spent $100 for night sights and another $100 to have it re-blued by SIG So they re-melanited it